next we have... Dun, dun, dun. We're going to do the outro before we're doing We Are Bulletproof. So we have two more. And I would think of outro as being the obvious ending because it says outro. So why is this the album order that they have, or is this selected for today's special event?
This is the philosophical conclusion of the album.
Okay.
And then, of course, album order is the best order. But the reason we decided that we would do We Are Bulletproof the Eternal last is because they've done that as a concert closer. They've done it as like an epilogue to the whole thing. And
so this echoes back further than this album, then, in a sense, doing We Are Bulletproof.
Mm-hmm. And you'll understand when you read the lyrics, because it's that sort of the emotional conclusion of the album, whereas this is the philosophical conclusion.
Okay, so this says...
So your Jungian psychology wraps up with this.
Okay.
And then the entire project wraps up with that.
Mm-hmm. All right, that makes sense. So Ego is a vibrant, explosive anthem that echoes the ideology of self-love and trusting yourself, a journey that BTS has been treading on ever since period. J-Hope has said, my song, Outro Ego, is a reinterpretation of our debut album, Too Cool for School. Ego as a topic isn't a very casual one, but I've presented it with my own style and story. The song is about how I became J-Hope. It's about how there were many thoughts and obstacles along the way, but that I now accept this path as a fate and choice, and I'll carry on. It's a bright and ambitious song with a lot of good brass, reminiscent of festivals. I hope you'll like it. And then moving on, Map the Soul is two-part album that takes place from Carl Jung. Okay, so that's kind of like the overall thing, which we've already touched on, I think, here. Let's see. Jung's views one's ego as the center of the field of consciousness. It is what we think ourselves to be. It consists of thoughts, memories, and emotions, as well as continuity, and identity. Ego is known as I, which develops over time as we grow, helps define who we are and our values. So I think this is kind of more going on to the overall arcing theme that we touched upon within the other songs here. So, All right, so let's check out the song.
We're now going to progress to some steps which are a bit more difficult. Ready, set, and begin.
Literal cars.
Help me make some noise. 내 노래가 못났고 포기를 선택한 삶으로 세상에는 입주 변하지 않는 진실 시간은 앞으로 흐른다는 것 마냥은 없다 야사지기조만 한 생각나는 시절 악마의 속일과 운명의 리코 궁금해 아직 왜 다시 떴는지도 매일 라스베가스 자주 ripping 변할 건 없다면 결국 걱정을 억지로 잠궈 How much love, how much joy 미안해지면 take time alone 그래야 care 전부 내 운명의 선택 so we're here 내 앞을 봐 The way you shine Keep going now hey! Get low, get low, get low Oh, we go, we go, we go 또 스쳐가는 J-Hope이 아닌 영어 속에서 희망이란 없고 후회까지 겠겠지 틀렸다 춤든 구름을 잡을 뿐 나의 꿈을 탓하고 살아 숨쉬는 거에 의문을 Oh my God, 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 God 참고 스팟 소년의 격정이 드디어 예뻐 그로 모두 해소되는 페퍼 가장 빛던 그들을 잡은 내 심장으로 하나뿐인 hope 하나뿐인 soul 하나뿐인 smile 하나뿐인 눈 세상들이 실에 확실해진다 변하지 않는 그 어떤 날
So was this multi-shot? with was this like a concert done like all in one? Like, did they go through all the songs
They performed it
one
like a
time,
full live
or is it?
concert. Yeah,
So it wasn't like two different concerts that was like put together.
they did it on 2 nights.
Two
Oh,
nights,
2
and so
days.
this is
There was a
spliced
day
from.
1 and there was a day 2. Oh, this might have, is this a stage mix? Sorry, I don't
I
remember.
don't know.
Did you do a stage
Richard, what
mix?
does it say? If it says a stage mix, like the video description?
Um,
No, it's not. No, the video title would usually say it.
Oh
It
yeah, it doesn't
doesn't.
say that here.
No, it doesn't say that. So
It's got to be though, right?
Does his outfit change? If his outfit changes, it's a stage mix.
And we're going
yeah, if it's
Here-
the same
I
outfit,
can't see it very well.
Those are two different outfits, right?
Then it's a stage mix.
yeah.
So we
Then
have
it's
this.
from day 1 and day 2. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
But the audio
but-
is from 1. She doesn't
No, but
tend
yeah.
to mix the audio.
So this is a stage mix then, right? Yeah, it has to be. I'm watching this like, okay, this isn't like some magical
Wardrobe changes.
wardrobe changes that we saw last week. Okay. So I was just thrown off. Because first
I
it was,
love
first
I
I
love
was
the
just like,
balance
oh, they
of-
brought
go
in.
ahead.
Sorry, I was saying, first I thought, oh, they brought in another rapper, but just like, but that's J-Hope's voice. I'm like really confused. I'm like, I feel like I know his tone now. What's my head
Right.
was spinning there for a second. Okay.
Yeah. Speaking of, I think he's got the coolest mix of rap and singing of anybody.
He's a sub vocalist, so that
Yeah.
would make sense because
Yeah.
they-
Like he's kind of like a master of both. I think he's in both worlds the most out of
Yeah.
all the members. Yeah.
Yeah, and I still goes down to his vibe, his energy, the positivity, and actually just this song as a whole. I can see where this. It's really interesting when you take on Map of the Soul, even going back to Intro Persona, right? They're like, we look at the whole arc, not just the album seven, and well, I guess those songs are included on 7 anyway. But just the deep dive. It's almost like a circadian rhythm of like the sleep cycles of how things went throughout the songs, you know what I mean? Just into the depths of the challenges and the shadow self and everything, and coming out with on the other side. And of course, he's delivering that, you know, the Hopi, right? Just like that, moving into the next thing.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait for you to listen to Spring Day.
희망이란 없고 후회까지 깨끗이 찔렀다 춤든 구름은 잡아본 나의 꿈을 탓하고 살아 숨쉬는 거에 의문을 Oh my god, 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 god 참고 스팟 소년의 격정이 드디어 앱밖으로 모두 해소되는 페퍼 가장 빛던 그들을 잡은 내 심장으로 하나뿐인 호흡 하나뿐인 속 하나뿐인 스마일 하나뿐인 눈 세상 그리 실에 확실해진다 변하지 않는 그 어떤 날 운명의 선택 so we're here The way you shine Keep going now Let's go
Little Latin flavor. Okay.
Wherever my
It's that festival thing he's talking about.
word
Yeah.
We go, we go, we go 있는 대로 가는 대로 운명이 되고 중심이 됐어 힘든 대로 또 슬픈 대로 위로가 되고 나 알게 됐어
Yeah. So fun.
Man up the soul, man up the hole That's my ego, that's my ego Let's go my fellas Man up the hole That's my ego, that's my ego Hey, man up the soul, man up the hole That's my ego, that's my ego Hey, hey
That's great. I would love to be a fly on the wall for the creative process for this, because I feel every single song. I was going to comment on this before, but every single song has its own distinctive beat and feel, and I feel like if I was to venture a guess, I feel like almost they start out with a beat. It's like, that can be a great writing tool to start out with a beat first and write to that, because that can open a lot of doors creatively with your phrasing, with your melodies, with your chord structures. And it just seems like every single song is just it's just got its own flair. And I think that starts with the beat itself, which
I think that would be more reflective too of the rap line as a whole, right? I mean, just I don't write rap,
right,
but that would be even more conducive to rhythmically
having something to react to,
having something to react to in that sense. Not to say that doesn't also benefit the just a regular
more of a melodic
vocal
approach.
line. Yeah.
I think Namjoon has mentioned this sometimes, like, if I don't remember it wrong, like, and he did a live where he kind of went into a little bit on the background on every song of this album. Like, he just sat down in front of his computer and he played a little part and he was like, yeah, this happened and that happened. And this is kind of, and I think he mentions, I know that they've mentioned, no. I know that they've mentioned that sometimes they start with the beat, and sometimes even like the whole the instrumental part is done, and then they go and write lyrics to it. Like, they will have a fully composed instrumental thing there, which is mind-boggling to me, which songwriting is anyways. But I know they've mentioned that sometimes.
Is the B behind interviews where Yoongi and Namjoon one of them is interviewing the other, and they ask each other, do you start with the melody, or do you start with the beat, or do you start with the beat, or do you start with the lyrics? I feel like I think, again, I might be wrong and they might have said different things at different times. I feel like in that particular interview, Namjoon said that he starts with lyrics, and I'm probably mixing this up, and Yoongi starts with the beat. So, and
Yes,
it probably
someone-
Could very well be.
Yeah, they're saying in the chat too that Suga starts with a beat is usually his
and
I'm
like
sure
the-
they have.
response too.
Yeah, I'm sure there's like an overarching concept. Maybe they come in with like, okay, I'd love to write a song about, the shadow in this regard. Thanks, Lucy K, by the way.
Thank you very much.
And yeah, I would say, because it can kind of, that process can kind of go like hand in hand a little bit, as opposed to like being totally linear. But yeah, I would say the beat and like a sort of a lyrical concept seems to make sense.
Oh yeah, sorry, and somebody in the comments just mentioning something that is that I forgot about here for a hot second. But yes, they sometimes have the whole musical part is done, like the instrumental is done, and then each member brings like a proposal, like, hey, this is my version of the song. So we have actual done songs like that we get on an album, and we have every now and then gotten from them like, hey, this was my version, I proposed this, but it didn't get taken by everybody.
Right.
Like, Richard, if you go to, which I'd see no reason why you wouldn't do this, I'm assuming you're going to the D-Day concert video film, which is coming out in cinemas in April. You'll see Yoongi will perform his version of Life Goes On, which is completely different to the group version of Life Goes On. Apart from that literal, like, there's a few lines and things that are the same.
Sure, some reference to it.
Really different.
Yeah.
So,
by
John,
the way,
do you know about the
Oh,
film?
I feel like I've
You
heard
If
not
you
read,
saw
like-
the text from Bridget,
I can read the text I send, but you don't.
I totally saw it.
yeah, I can see that in your face right now.
I'm not.
That those showings are going to be sold out pretty quickly, so get your
I
tickets.
told them to get their tickets. Like yesterday, I was like, if you want to go,
got mine.
here's the link. Get your tickets now.
My text etiquette is not the greatest.
I know. I've experienced
You're
that
a
for
You've
you.
noticed.
You're good.
By the way, when I say that I would love to be a fly on the wall for these creative writing sessions, it's my subtle way of being like, I want to write with them. So just
This is where you say, BTS, call me.
Army, if you can make that happen somehow for me, I would love to get in a writing session with BTS.
Why don't you just drop Hybe an email? I'm sure that is something that can be done. You have credentials.
There we go.
You're not nobody.
it's
And then hook us
Thank
up
you.
with an interview with them.
That's the nicest
Draft
thing
up an
anybody's ever
email,
said
Johnny.
to me.
the industry is definitely a very organic relationship when it comes to like that. Like we saw that with when we reacted to Max, right? When we did Blueberry Eyes. It's just those relationships are so organic. When you write with somebody, it's not because it's like, oh, well, this person, has wrote 12 songs with David Foster, or they have, this many Grammys. Nobody, artists generally don't care. Like the teenage version of ourselves do, where it's like, oh, they're famous, so I want to attach to that. But once you establish yourself as an artist, it's definitely a very organic process. It's someone that personally met or was recommended to you by someone you trust. It's a very conversational thing that happens organically.
Yeah,
That being said,
level.
if anybody listens to their fan base, it is BTS. So your recommendations could work.
Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, please hit like and subscribe and ring that bell so you can always be up to date with any videos or content we're coming out with next.
Yes, and also be sure to check out the link in the description below where you can buy us a cup of coffee, 3 or 5 because we need it, and check out the membership levels for added perks as a Thronely member. Also, visit Throga.com to take a free vocal assessment to learn more about your voice, your strengths and weaknesses, and how to become a better singer. Thanks for joining, everyone. Be sure to check out the next video.
See you guys soon.